Okay, so I feel led to do a response video to the abusive situation videos that I recorded back in June, and that was it was on a Sunday, and I recorded 14 of them, and it was regarding an outburst, a very angry and aggressive uh, situation that occurred the night prior. Um, on a Saturday, and that was when I uh, accidentally locked my parents out, and that was the day that oh goodness, there was so much hate and anger in my mother's eyes, and at one point she was yelling at me, and she kept saying, "This is our house. This is my house. This is my house." And anyways, so I just published those videos today, and today is Saturday, September 27th. So it's been about 3 months. I'm no longer there at that place. And, I thought it would be really wise to do a response video immediately. So without further ado, I wrote down some questions. So, how it feels in the moment, how I perceive it, like how do I perceive it looking back or reflecting on it, how it's impacted me, and then the continuance in similarities here. So, how it feels in the moment, in all honesty, it just feels like such a long time ago, but it also feels um, quite recent as well. This would be exemplary of um, occurrences that happened all the time when I was there, um, all the time when I'm around them. The abuse happens all the time. This just happens to be just one of the few examples that I felt led to talk about and to write about. But it wasn't and it hasn't been abnormal, and these sorts of things have been occurring since I was a teenager. And so to look back at it, it's kind of if I could describe it this way, it's kind of looking back at um, oh goodness, it would be like it's kind of looking back at like just something that is normative, and unfortunately when it's normative you just get used to it, and then when you're away from it you look back and you can almost minimalize it because it's just something that you were used to for many years, and so it loses that oomph or that impact because it's normative for sure. But I can honestly see that yes, it's very it's rather terrible. Okay, so how I perceive it, in a word, spiritual domination. Um, I see it just as somebody who just hates me internally, and so they feel like um, they're socially obligated to treat me with like some level of like respect or humanity, but whenever they feel like something of theirs has been infringed upon, or if they feel like they're like losing out on something, the true reality of their heart comes out. And I always think of like manipulation, control, and at the far end of that is domination. So the whole desire is to dominate another person. And I always think about somebody who's dominated by a spirit is going to reflect the characteristics of that spirit. So then they, in turn, are going to try to dominate somebody else. I also see it as someone who's just unable to hide their inner contempt and confliction for having me there. Um, I honestly feel that they permitted me to be there in my time of need, not because they love and care for me, and not because they might say on the surface and with their words that like they desire to see me do good and this and that, but I truly believe in their heart I mean nothing to them, and I feel they just felt like it's their Christian duty to do so rather than a heartfelt. Um, choice, and henceforth, like these behavioral patterns come out. They continue, and they're always just brushed aside. But I also understand that they would never um, act this way to anybody else, and they would never want these things revealed to anybody else. They seem to only care about their image. Okay, so how it has impacted me. Oh goodness, this is a good question. This situations like this used to have a major impact on me. In one of my prior videos, I talked about when I first started drinking, and you know, I went down a really bad path, and it wasn't just abuse like at home. There's abuse outside of home, but I noted one of the main roots for me taking a bad path and starting to say lies such as "I don't care" and have a rebellious attitude seem to stem from, intense moments of abuse. As a child, I didn't know how to deal with them. Before Christ, I didn't know how to deal with them. And I couldn't see them or fully understand them for what they were. So now I simply understand it and just I see the spirit behind it and the lack of maturation that causes, well, virtually selfishness. Um, I love my parents. I've always loved my parents, and I will honor and respect them. And I truly desire for them to mature and to sincerely receive God. But I no longer feel this deep obligation to change them. That used to be a driving force within me. I felt like I need to change them if they only would hear this, if they only would see this. I now understand that that change can only come through them responding to conviction from God, and so I can pray for them. And this is also too. It's so moving forward. It doesn't really have an impact on me. I just see it the way it is, and it hurts, and I'm able just to face it and to be honest about how I feel without any lies, no bravado, no mask. It really hurts, and I take it to the Lord, and I allow Him to hold me. To heal me. Sorry, He's the one that makes me whole and complete. And this is why, in like some of the past videos, and even right now, like it meant the world to me to hear my mother say, before I left, she said, "I just want to say to you, this whole time you've been here, you've been nothing but like respectful in both word and action. You're always just very, like if we ask you to do something, you're very attentive and you do it, and you're always very respectful. You never raise your voice. You're always very kind and considerate. That means everything to me because it's the attitude that I despise, not the people." And then, so the last question is, like it's not even formed as a question. I just wrote the continuance and similarities here. Most certainly, there's major. It is a continuance, and there's major similarities here. In terms of like the gruffness of the voice, the like internally the instability, but the you know like somebody just taking out their bad mood on you, and in such a vicious and demeaning and aggressive way, and then afterwards just saying, I was just in a bad mood. Of course, I know the continuance and the similarities, and it's not healthy at all. And it's yeah, we will talk further about this in another video. But yeah, I'm very delighted and happy to be able to share a response video. It's something that it's been 3 months, and um, yeah, that was as I mentioned, like that was a pretty aggressive and like ooh, I felt shaky in the moment, like being yelled at like that and having somebody say those things to you, especially your mother of all people. Um, it was difficult. And I remember specifically with this one not knowing what to do, so I just left and I didn't even know what to say. I went in my room, but I remember a couple days later feeling led to listen to a sermon from a preacher that I really admire, a preacher that's full of just brimming with love, God's love. And I remember he talked in his like that specific sermon, and he was talking about God's children, being obedient to Him, like being obedient to God. And one of the main characteristics that you know when you're saved is that transformation where you used to react and now you take everything to God. If you don't know what to do, you simply say nothing. And that's, he literally said that. He's like, you would say nothing, you go to God and you discuss it with God and you're asking what He says about it, but you're very slow to speak. And I found like with this situation, I remember standing there thinking, I don't know, like, Father, I don't want to shrink back from the Spirit. But at the same time, I really don't know what to say. Like this is um, I don't know what to say. So I just thought I'll just go in my room. I'll pray for them specifically, and then I'll go for a walk, and then I'll talk about this later tonight or tomorrow. And but I really, in all honesty, I don't know what to do, and I'm very thankful for that. In the past, I would be very reactive, and then it would just snowball into this other situation, and because it would snowball into another situation, oh goodness, I would have like remorse and guilt and all these different things. But anyhow, I think that's sufficient, and yeah, I'm um, yeah, they're hard to talk about. They're hard to get out, but I think these things are really good to goodness. In the past, I don't think I ever would have talked about these things. I would have been very embarrassed. I would have felt very ashamed, especially when it's uh, not just a family member, like a family member that's supposed to love you, um, but also a woman, like a woman yelling at you with such aggression and hate in their eyes. It's a very strange predicament to be in. It's in the past I would never want to bring this to the surface because I would have felt, you know, um, just really humiliated and embarrassed. But now when I look at it, I just think there's really nothing for me to feel humiliated and embarrassed about. I just simply locked the door. I didn't do anything deliberately, and I just made yeah, a simple mistake, not a big deal. But um, that reaction had nothing to do with like what took place there. That reaction had everything to do with something that is like broken inside of this individual. And for me to feel ashamed about that doesn't make any sense. And that's the way I was raised to feel. So praise God, He's changed my heart and my mind. So I no longer think in that direction. Anyways, God bless you.